Hate drumming inside of me. Hate dying to get out. Sinking in a pool of blackened hate. Hate choking me. Hate consuming me. Hate isolating me. Hate me. Hate controlling me. Hate inspiring me. Hate defining me. Hate denying me. Hate me. Indescribable hate. Hate scarring me. That was a poem I wrote to express how I was feeling. It summed up for me everything that was going on inside. That overwhelming feeling of hate was what I felt. I was 13 when I first self-harmed. I didn't know what it was called. I didn't know what I was doing. And I didn't know anybody else had ever done it. For me, it gave me a sense of control. It gave me something that I held power over. It gave me a way to calm the emotions that were inside of me. It gave me something solid in a world that was so changeable, a world that I just didn't have power over. But what initially helped me soon became an addiction. And for the next 10 years, self-harm controlled me. Self-harm was the one constant that I had in my life. It was the one thing that I could turn to no matter what I experienced. It was always there and always reliable. There are so many reasons out there. There's so much literature that says why people self-harm. And for me, there was so many reasons as well. In fact, depending on the day and the time that you speak to me about it, I'll probably give you a different answer. But that's because there wasn't just one clear answer for me. There were so many interlinking factors that led me to hurt myself. The longer I self-harmed, the more I found my identity in self-harming. I would spend time in online forums, communities that were built around the idea of self-harming. Now, although these groups were all about recovery and everybody was really positive in them, actually they were a group that was founded on the fact that people self-harmed. It was a group that was really exclusive because to break away from that and to risk changing your identity from someone who self-harm to something else, you would have had to leave this group. And eventually that's what I had to do. I recognised that self-harm was only ever going to be a symptom. It wasn't a cause. The things that led me to self-harm were those beliefs I held about myself inside. They were the emotions that I was struggling with. And in order to move away from self-harm, they were the bits that I had to change. For me, I found the strength to change in my faith. I spent time studying the Bible, learning what God said about me, not what I felt about me. I learnt in there that he called me loved. He told me I had a purpose. He told me I had a future. He told me that I was perfect just the way that I am. And he told me that he had already taken the punishment that I felt I needed to deal out to myself. As I clung to these words, as I clung to the truth I knew in my head but didn't feel in my heart, that's where I started to be able to stop self-harming. When those triggers came, I could hold to those truths that I knew, those things that were stable for me. I could be like, actually, I don't need to self-harm today because this is who God says I am. The longer that went on, the more entrenched it became in me, those new beliefs, the more I found myself changing. 6 years on, I no longer consider myself even an ex-self-harmer. A daughter of the king doesn't match new scars on her arms. That doesn't mean that I don't still get triggered. That doesn't mean that in situations that are hard, that are stressful, or worst of all, the situations where I believe I've done something wrong, that the instant thought doesn't come through my head to self-harm. But that's all it is. That's all I allow its space to be. I choose to focus my mind on something else, to distract myself, because I have made the decision that I will not self-harm. That is the bottom line. And whether I spend half an hour thinking about it and fantasising about it, I'm not going to do it. Or whether I dismiss that thought immediately, I'm not going to do it. All of this experience, all of my journey, has given me some insight into the young people I now work with. Has given me empathy for the young girl or the young guy who sits across from me with tears streaming down their face, telling me that they've started self-harming. I can empathise with their journey. I can empathise with the confusion of something that brings pain but also brings peace. I can see where they are coming from. But having walked that path myself, and knowing that self-harm is always a symptom and never a cause, I can now work with those young people. And instead of expending my energy trying to get them to stop, I can focus on building their confidence. I can focus on the way that they see themselves and helping them turn that into something positive. I can focus on giving them hopes and dreams for their future, so that hopefully they can walk the same path away from self-harm.